The parent company of former President Donald Trump's social media platform, Truth Social, lost more than $58 million last year, while bringing in just over $4 million in revenue, according to new SEC filings today. Shares of Trump Media and Technology Group sliding more than 20% today. A sharp pullback after last week's run. This comes as the board debates whether to grant Trump a waiver on his 6-month lockup period. For more, let's bring in Dan Primack. He's the business editor over at Axios. Dan, great to have you with us. I was sort of surprised at this decline because I didn't know that the metrics were all that surprising that we learned about today. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I agree. It's almost like there were certain people who woke up and thought, oh, wow, it's a bad business. I mean, of course it's a bad business. We knew it was a bad business through the first 3 quarters. I mean, maybe there were certain people who thought there was going to be some Q4 momentum. And I do think that maybe was part of it. It wasn't just that the business isn't good. It somehow got worse in the fourth quarter than it was in the third quarter of last year in terms of revenue. It only brought in about $750,000 in Q4 last year, top line, which is just an extraordinarily low amount, given that they do have a few million users.
Yeah, it's Karen. So what do you think what happened today? As Melissa said, it seems odd that people would wake up and go, oh, my God, the financials are terrible. Do you think it was that language about going concern, which I think is somewhat dated, that language, since the merger actually closed post the time that auditor made that statement? What do you...
Yeah, it may have been. There were a couple of news reports that pointed that out. But as you say, those were old. Those were... It would have problems as a going concern if the merger isn't completed, because these were auditors, at year end last year. The merger was completed. There is cash there, from the SPAC merger. There is cash there. So going concern for a while shouldn't be an issue. I mean, to be honest, part of this is maybe the memeiest of all meme stocks ever. So the idea that it's going to have a big up or a big down probably shouldn't surprise us that much.
All right, so Dan, I think it's still a $5.5 billion market cap company that, let's just say, to round, they'll do $5 million of revenue-ish. What is the right price to sales multiple, given some of the comps out there, and then, back of the envelope this thing?
Wait, are you saying you don't think 1,000 to 1 is a proper ratio? Because I think that's where we're at right now, right? I mean, I don't think you can judge this by comps. In fact, to be honest, Truth Social or Trump Media, in its own disclosures today, it pointed out that it's not going to release any of its user data in terms of average user or average revenue per user, DAUs, MAUs, any of these things, downloads that any of their comps do. I don't think there are comps here. This is, do you want to buy Donald Trump and help him either reputationally or financially, or don't you?
Hey, Dan, when I look at the holders of this company, as we often do, right, when we look at publicly traded companies, I see that, the former president owns 58% of this thing. And we know that they're trying to get this lockup kind of, abbreviated. He owns the board, that sort of thing. I have to assume that there are some real institutional holders here that have a fiduciary responsibility, right? They might not have any voting rights on this sort of thing, but I have to assume that this is going to end like a lot of other Trump dealings in a lot of lawsuits.
I would agree. Just on that first point, I don't know, at least my reporting hasn't shown that they are trying to get the lockup reduced. The assumption is they are, but Devin Nunes the CEO was on a show the other day and said there's been no conversations like that. Yeah, people do have fiduciary duty. I think if I was an investor, if I was a client of some of the bigger holdings here, I'd be making a phone call and having simply a question, why? What is it about this that you actually think is going to appreciate, particularly for folks who bought in last week when the stock ticker changed and it started trading not as DWAC, but as DJT?